Hello, CNMS students. My name is Emma Barnaby, and I'm your CNMS Student Success Coach. And today we're going to talk about how to check your grades in each class. This is useful for a lot of reasons. One of them is to know how you're doing in each class, like honestly. Another one is that your advisor is probably going to ask you this in your advising meeting every semester. So it's really helpful to learn how to do this and to be smart about it and to check continually by using these spreadsheet technique that I'm going to show you today. So today you're going to need access to Blackboard because that's where your grades are. You're also going to need a copy of the syllabus, which is probably also on Blackboard. If you don't have it saved somewhere, you can usually find it in Blackboard and download it from there. You're also going to need the Excel spreadsheet template, which is linked in the description box. So it's a special template that's already created for you to fill in with each class, and you can fill in up to 6 or 7 classes and also check your GPA using this one same spreadsheet. So let's get started. Okay, so head over to Blackboard and find the syllabus for the class you want to check. Feel free to pause this video at any time to just go and do that thing and then come back to the video so that I can tell you what to do next. So on the syllabus, you need to find the section telling you how the course is graded. Usually you'll see something like this, and this is a real grade breakdown from Chem 101. So you've got reading quizzes, 5%, in-class activities, 5%, homework, 15%, discussion, 15%. Total, that makes up 40% of the class. The exams make up the final 60%. Each exam, including the final, is worth 12%. So exams 1 through 4 are worth 12% each for 48% total, and then the final exam is worth another 12%. So we got 40% stuff, and we got 60% tests. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to set up this spreadsheet. So you're going to want to download the spreadsheet, and then you're going to fill it in with each of these categories, assigning those percentages to each. So you can rename each of the categories in the red column at the top. Hopefully you don't have more columns than this spreadsheet because it only lets you have 6 total columns. And then in this gray bar underneath the red bar, you're going to type the percentage number and then the percentage symbol. So you need to type that percentage symbol. It's very important to make the spreadsheet work correctly. So you want it to look just like this, except if you're not calculating your grade for Chem 101, it should look, you know, like the grade breakdown of the class that you're trying to figure out your grade in. Okay, so now we're going to fill it in. So as you can see here, there's a few things, and I'm just going to explain them one thing at a time. So you need to fill in the spreadsheet based on what you already know. So Blackboard should give you, in some cases, an average. So like this first column, reading quizzes, it gives you the grade for each specific reading quiz, but there's tons of reading quizzes. So I want the average because it's too hard to put in each individual grade. So let's say my average is 87%. That might be written in Blackboard as a point total, like 200 out of 225, which is fine too. We can work with that. We're trying to get to a percentage, but in order to get there, we can either type a decimal point. So you don't want to type in just 87 because that will skew it enormously. That'll give you 800 or 87 8,700% in reading quizzes. So that's going to skew your current grade a lot. But if you know it's an 87%, you can type 0.87 or you can type 200 and then the little forward slash and then or backslash, sorry, and then out of the total number of points. So like let's say it is 200 out of 225. You type 200 backslash 225 and hit enter, and that's going to translate that into a decimal here. And so this is what I'm just saying on this slide. You do need to put in each assignment as a fraction or decimal, not the total number of points. What you can do here is, like I said, you can put in the average for certain things, or you can put in individual grades. So for instance, if you want to put in your individual discussion grades, that's fine. You'll see you get a 90 in one, you get 100 in the next one, you get an 85 in the next one. You can just put those in as individual assignments down the column, and that will average them together as 15% total. Usually you can just put in the average because Blackboard will give that to you. It doesn't always. So, if it doesn't, then you do have to put in each one individually, or you have to calculate the average yourself and then put in the average. For exams, that's kind of where you want to use those columns. So let's say I got a 75 on the first exam and an 89 on the second one. That's where you can see I'm doing here. So I've got 75 for that first one. I've got 89 for this second one. So what does this all totally mean? Well, you want to use that thing at the top there in the top left of the chart that says percentage of total possible points. You don't want to use current grade because unless every column is filled in, that current grade is going to be not your total current possible points. So that percentage of total possible points is going to give you your current grade based on all assignments up until now. So it's skewing things a little bit because, as we know, these reading quizzes are worth 5%, in classes worth 5%. If we're keeping kind of average, we're keeping that average grade kind of similar on those, that's not going to change. If our homework grades start to go up, that's great because then our average there is going to go up. Same thing for discussion or in class or reading. For the exams in particular, right now, we've only taken 2 exams. So 2 of them are blank, which means this is averaging each one of these exams as 24% instead of 12% because we only have 2. And it doesn't know that this spreadsheet doesn't know there's going to be 4 total exams. So if you want to put in hypothetical marks for your next exams or grades, you can do that. If you have goals that you want to reach for each exam, you can put those goals in and see what your total grade would be if you hit those goals, or if you didn't hit those goals, what your grade would be. You can also put in a hypothetical number for the final exam. Once you've got all these columns filled in, then your current grade and your percentage of total possible points are going to match, just so you know. So again, here's how we can kind of do that hypothetical filling in. So now I've filled in the rest of this exam column as, let's just say I got these 4 grades on my 4 Chemistry 101 exams. So now I've got that. So now my percentage of total possible points is an 85. I still don't have my grade for the final yet. I haven't taken the final, right? So let's see what happens if I get an 85 on the final. I went from basically an 85 to an 85 because I got an 85 on the final. Let's see what happens if I get a 90 on the final, or 95. Then I go up to an 86. My grade didn't actually increase very much because I got a 95 on the final. I'm still getting a B in the course. So let's see what happens if I absolutely tank my final exam. Say I got a 50%, but I had an 85 up until now, but I got a 50% on my final. You're still getting a B in this class, which just kind of goes to show that you need to stress about your final exams, but maybe not as much as you think. So this is really helpful. So you can also kind of continue changing your variables by saying, like, let's say I get 100 on the reading quizzes. So as you can see here, I've changed the reading quiz grade. I've increased it to 100. I've increased the homework grade to a 95. My exams I kept the same, and then I gave myself a final exam on the 90. A 90 on the final exam. Now you can see I'm getting a 90 in the class. That's bumped me up to an A. So you can kind of see what you need to do, fill in these columns to see what you need to do to get that grade that you want to get. And that's a really helpful thing for this. With this, that a spreadsheet can do is, let's say you have all your exams except your final. Say, what do I need to get on the final to get this grade in the class? You can just plug in some numbers and see what you need to get. So, as I said, you can continue this for the rest of your classes. Just use those tabs at the bottom of the spreadsheet to go between classes and fill it into up to 7 classes, and then you can also calculate your final GPA this way. So, thank you so much for watching this. If you'd like any assistance with this or want to talk about your grades further, you can schedule a meeting with the CNMS Student Success Coach, which is me, Emma Barnaby, and the link for that is below. I have a Calendly link that's linked in the description box, or you can email cnmssuccess@umbc.edu. See you next time.